22, Incorporated. This is America.
Land of free, home of the brave, baby, let's go!
Hello and welcome to episode 4. So I wanted to begin this episode by saying congratulations and thank you for being my daughter, Carly, and congratulations on your graduation. She graduates today, and so I wanted to go ahead and start this episode with that. And then I want to say thank you to all our guests that are here. We have had triple the number of people, triple the number of views this week that we have had throughout this whole time as a podcast. I know we just started, but every week we're going up by triple numbers, and I truly appreciate anybody that has been tuning in and viewing us, and that has been subscribing, and just keep it up, and I truly appreciate everybody. So without further ado, let's get into our weekly recap. So last week we went into Diddy and his court hearing. Mm-hmm. And it had just started. And so Diddy was basically being thrown under the bus by Cassie because of his actions. Cassie Ventura this week will discuss more about the case and more about what's been happening over the next 5 days. HBO had been becoming, Max had becoming HBO Max. Mm-hmm. The prison break in Louisiana,
which we have an update on.
Which we have updates on. We were discussing Donald Trump about his tax breaks and his tax break deals. His deals with Saudi Arabia and the UAE, and his $2.2 trillion deals that he's got with the Middle East now. We discussed that. We were discussing the birthright citizenship with the Supreme Court. And Blaze, we went over your bipolar disease in our main frame. And so before we get into our current events, I made a promise to you guys last week that we would bring somebody in, our guest speaker, and this is Jordan Rutan. So everybody give him a round. So he'll be joining us here in a little bit. So, Blaze, do you want to get into current events?
Okay. Shoot, I don't have my note cards.
So, let's start with Cassie Ventura.
Okay, so Cassie Ventura, who happens to be 8.5 months pregnant, cried in the stands this week when she was asked if Sean Combs or P. Diddy had beaten her, or she had been raped. So the juror, and also we had a reaction from the jurors, which was probably a reaction of shock, after holding the evidence, the money, the drugs, the baby oil found in Mr. Combs' hotel, including the ketamine, which he uses as a sedative to induce amnesia, based on our research. And so
I know it's not looking good for the home team for him. We are sitting here in day 6 of the trial, and I know one thing's for sure, that with Diddy, he's really trying to fight these charges, and Cassie has, in a way, she is trying to save her own ass, but she has thrown him under the
proverbial bus.
the proverbial bus. And these items that he had in the hotel room when they found him they are damning products. What do you think, Blaze?
I think that's all the evidence we need. I think P. Diddy has absolutely sealed his fate. Like, he's going to jail.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
So, then we talk about there's a tax break bill that is on the House and Senate floor right now that is basically, Donald Trump said that I want tax breaks for the poor or for the middle class. And the biggest part of these tax break bills is paying for the wall supposed to be built. They are paying for more they're paying for more border crossmen. They're paying for better security. It's also paying for this has got to do with a lot of with the no taxes on tips, no taxes on
Overtime pay.
So they're trying to pass that right now, and it just passed the House committee, and they think that it's going to pass on Memorial Day. They think it's going to pass the House and the Senate. So they really do think that it's going to become law. So I am pretty excited about that because I work a lot of overtime. So
I'd say that's pretty good. That is truly legendary. I mean, I don't exactly work overtime, but no tax on tips is definitely going to be a big deal. I'm currently, at the time of recording this, I'm currently unemployed. You can thank my latest boss for that one. Enough of that. Let's move on.
So let's get into Joe Biden. Joe Biden was diagnosed this week with prostate cancer. My only concern with this was that he's supposed to be tested as a U.S. president with his health.
That's true. Bro's got the highest bro for the last 4 years before President Trump re-entered office had the highest position in the thing. He should have the highest based on the hierarchy. Dude should have the highest amount of healthcare benefits.
I know the biggest thing with me is that everybody was saying he was healthy and that he kept doing great on these tests when it came to his knowledge and when it came to his cognitive skills. But then we find out that he had a degenerative, highly impactful prostate cancer that basically has infected his bones. There's no way that he just got this. So he's had it for a while. So I don't know what tests they're running to our presidents, but either there's a cover-up going on, or was a cover-up, or somebody's not telling us the truth.
Oh, I'm right there definitely with you on that one. Uncle Rutan, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, he should have the highest level of health care and being taken care of, and it goes without saying that. So I feel that something is amiss. That he basically got pulled the wrong card when it came to his health while he was trying to take care of the entire United States.
Yeah, there is clearly something sketchy going on. I'd agree with you guys both. There is something really sketchy going on, and I don't like it.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
So while we're talking about U.S. presidents, let's go back to Trump. He just signed the Take It Down Act into law. Now, this is an act that both sides of the Senate and House have signed. Usually, laws are signed across party lines. And this is a law that came across with bipartisan approval. The Take It Down law basically is, imagine you sitting on the internet one day and you come across your picture on the internet and it's a nude picture. And you know the only person that you sent it to was, say, an ex that you sent it to. You call that ex, and you find out because you broke up, the way you broke up, he is posting it on there because of revenge. It's revenge porn. It used to be a... it was a crime to these individuals that were getting used, but it wasn't a law against it. Well, now, because of this law going into effect, now those people can be held accountable, and those people can be prosecuted for a crime.
Well, that's not the only thing. The fact is we've had some pretty bad people use it for more malicious intent, because there is also a lot of, like, you know, teen and children pictures on the internet, and there's been a lot of, like, deep fake nudes with their faces on it. Mm-hmm. And some of the most depraved people can actually see that, and they be jacking their crap to it. And maybe there's some dude on the internet who's looking for a fix and probably doesn't even catch that, and gets caught in a trap, and gets caught in something he doesn't want to come across. So that's my take on it. So, like I said, both the innocent and the guilty are very much being affected here. With the guilty being affected as in they're finally getting they can probably finally be charged and their stuff be taken down finally. And the innocent can finally get the justice they deserve. If you know what I mean.
Well, the biggest thing for me is that the innocent finally get their justice. Is that we find out that the innocent. So here's the story. Melania Trump, our first lady, sat in a conference a few months back with people that basically told their story of revenge porn, their story of their pictures being posted on the internet by social medias, and the social medias not being able to take it down, and heard their stories about their life being ruined. And she vowed to be a headliner in taking this into effect, into making this a law. And so she was the leader that really spearheaded this. So thank you to Melania Trump, because this needed to be done a long time ago.
That's true.
GM and Ford have decided that they are no longer shipping their trucks or cars to China.
Oh, yeah. That one was interesting.
So even though that there's a 2-month hold on the tariffs between us and China, they've decided not to ship vehicles to China, and that they will be manufacturing and holding and sending the influx of vehicles to here in the United States and to other countries. Also, when it comes to that, GM is pushing to tank the EV mandate, the electrical vehicle mandate. The electrical mandate, if everybody doesn't understand what that is, there was a mandate that was signed by Biden and a lot of these companies that said 26% of the vehicles created by 2027 were going to be electrical vehicles. That 44% by 2030 were going to be electrical vehicles, and that 56% of the electrical vehicles were by 2032 were going to be electrical vehicles. So a lot of these companies, GM included now, are trying to tank that deal because we're just not there technology-wise. We're just not there with the need or necessity and want for electrical vehicles. Because you got to think with these homes and the compatibility and the charging stations and things like that, we're just not there. So we'll see what kind of happens from that. And I think the final thing that I got when it comes to the news going on is, and this is something that needed to happen, was, so I don't know if everybody knows or not, but PBS was defunded. The public broadcasting system was defunded recently in the last month by executive order. And a lot of us grew up on PBS. It helped us with our numbers. It helped us with our education. It helped us as kids. For those that didn't have preschool growing up. Well, Netflix has picked up the charge of those schools for at least 3 years. And they've decided to release some of those educational programs on Netflix for the next 3 seasons. So Sesame Street, along with other educational programs by PBS, will be picked up on Netflix for the next 3 seasons.
Psst. Hey, future edit BB Christian here. Hi. We may have probably missed a few things, so that's where I come in. So first off, we missed our rating for Final Destination Bloodlines, which we give it a 7 out of 10, respectively. I gave it a 7.5 on, I don't know what that is, but anywho. And the other update that we had completely forgotten is an update on the missing prisoners up there. So 5 of the 10 escaped prisoners have been captured, so we are halfway finished with the entire set. Corey Boyd was the latest to be caught. So figured I'd go ahead and give that small update. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program.
So let's get into sports.
Oh yeah.
So Blaze, get into sports.
Let's start. Okay, let's start with the WWE, because you guys already knew we were going to talk about this. So obviously, this Saturday is Saturday night's main event. We have a full match card. I think I don't know if it's like a full match card, but we do have 4 important matches to talk about. We have Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have CM Punk and Sami Zayn teaming up to go up against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. We have John Cena versus R-Truth. And Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match. These are... I know the Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest steel cage match is going to be a brutal one, especially after the events of WWE WrestleMania 40, where Drew McIntyre cashed in on freaking Drew McIntyre. And constantly, and since then, Drew McIntyre has constantly blamed everyone but himself.
In the hockey and basketball.
Okay, let's start with basketball. So obviously, the Thunder wins their first game 1-0. The Pacers and the Panthers have also won 5-2. I think that's
Okay. So the Pacers and the Knicks, their game is tonight. So the Pacers and the Knicks are tonight, and they're the other 2 teams. And then for the NHL, for the Hockey League, the Panthers and the Hurricanes had their game 1 yesterday, and the Panthers won that 5-2. The Stars and the Oilers have their game 1 tonight, and so let's go Stars. I'm proud of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's hope they can keep up their onslaught of the T-Wolves, and hope they do really well with that. So that is our current events. Let's get into talking about a quick story that happened this week about our asshole of the week, and then we're going to get into our conversation with Jordan Rutan.
Hey, Dad, did we forget the weekly recap?
No, I did the weekly recap at the beginning. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
He's losing his mind.
Well, which way did it go, George? Which way did it go?
So this week, at the very beginning of our podcast, we put it out there, and there was an influx of about 111 views from the very beginning, within the first hour and a half of us posting our video. And I was really proud of those 111 because it was the highest that we had gotten. And then all of a sudden, our views just stopped. They just completely stopped going up. They quit moving. It just stopped. And then, so I looked up on Google why view count would stop, and they say there's a verification process on it. So I was like, okay, they're verifying our views. That's not an issue. And then, when they reactivate it, we'll just keep moving. Well, YouTube being, when they opened back up 24 hours later, they dropped our views, which I knew were legitimate because I had spoke to some of the people that were viewing our content. They dropped our views down to 3 views. So I'm wondering where our views went. So I decided to make a post again pleading to our public that we needed to prove again that we were able to do just what I said we were able to do. That 111 views wasn't enough. That we were capable of so much more as a public, as fans of this page, as fans of this broadcast, and we were going to blow them out of the water again, and that I needed help doing what we were doing, and to please like and go on to the view count. So I asked everybody to go on there again. So when they reactivated our account, everybody went on there again within the first hour. We got up to number 88 and they froze our account again. And this time I wrote a scathing email to them saying, if you go on there, basically, you'll see that our views are legitimate. And I wrote that we had family friends of friends who were going on to actually view, and that it was legitimate. Well, they reactivated and they didn't take our views away this time. Actually, they added views because people were still viewing it even though it was frozen. And this time our views shot up to 149 views. And then our views on the second and the first episode shot up. And overall, we ended up with 217 views and 10 subscribers. And I wanted to thank everybody, and like I did at the beginning of this broadcast, but the power of social media is so important. I want to keep doing this, and I want to keep doing what we're doing, and I don't care what YouTube says, but I hope that we blow them out of the water again. But that goes back to our asshole of the week. I don't think it's really the people. I think it's the algorithm. So our asshole of the week is the random YouTube algorithm.
That is true. It is the YouTube algorithm. Dad, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to do the finger.
Go.
You little lifesaver!
Now getting to Jordan Rutan and his with us.
I shall be stepping out for a sec.
Hey Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Woke up this morning feeling refreshed after my ungodly long day yesterday.
So Jordan just got into town yesterday. We spent some time together. He's here for Carly's graduation, which is my daughter. He'll be in town until tomorrow morning, and then he's flying back to Illinois. So I wanted to get him on here in his busy schedule, and I wanted to discuss the mental health issues that he's been through, and the importance of his views on it, along with veteran suicide and items like that, while he's here. So, Jordan, tell me, how long have we known each other now?
Let's see. About 14 and a half years.
It seems like in the 14 or 15 years that we've known each other, I have come with nothing but baggage. With mental disabilities and deployment stories and all sorts of PTSD myself and this and that. But you, on the other hand, you have stories yourself of you came with PTSD, and you can you tell me about your experience with PTSD?
So, my PTSD is it's a rough story basically, but all in all it does have some pretty bad side effects for me as far as like trying to make it through society on a day-to-day basis, even with work. The place I work at, and I come from Terre Haute, Indiana. It's a retail store, and it's spacious enough to where I can do my job in peace of mind, no issues there. But like once I start seeing people crowding up on me and I start feeling claustrophobic, that's when my PTSD starts kicking in, and I start having a panic attack. Things get blurry. I can't think straight. I feel like that I can't breathe. I keep on thinking about I start thinking about, God forbid, what happened to me that caused it, and it just goes downhill from there.
Okay, so let me ask you then, when you start feeling these symptoms, what's the easiest way so that we can help? We got other veterans that see this podcast. We have other individuals that deal with mental disabilities or this. When you start feeling these symptoms, what are some of the things you do to possibly calm down or not? Because it's so hard. Like everybody's got triggers. And when I feel like, so, for instance, I have triggers, but I feel like I got people that come up to me all the time and they go, "Oh, just calm down." And the first thing that comes to my mind is, "Fuck you," because it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
So, are there things that you do that possibly help you the other way, that you possibly use to calm down?
Well, there are a few things that I do to help combat the issue. First and foremost, I do take a medication that's been prescribed for me from the VA. Sertraline. It's a medication that imitates the similar. Well, I can't remember if it's like similar or it's the exact same as Xanax, but like it helps me calm down. It helps my anxiety and my depression issues, and helps me focus even if I feel like that people are like starting to crowd up on me. It gives me that. It helps me provide me that edge to keep going. Another thing that I do is actually a trick that my therapist taught me. He said that if I am capable of doing it, to move away from that crowded area, even if people are asking me for help, just move away to a secluded area. And what he told me to do was to start doing what's called box breathing.
Box breathing. Tell me about this box breathing.
So imagine a box. Imagine like a box, right? And the process is basically this continuation of this square, and it's all about breathing, holding, and exhaling for 4 seconds. So like you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you release for 4 seconds, and then you I can't remember what the last part was. And then you or what I do is I just breathe normally for 4 seconds, and then I do that whole thing over and over again until I can feel that my symptoms are starting to calm down. A lot of people actually use this for many different things. Some use it as a strength training for breathing. Others use it, obviously, as I do, for helping to relax and calm your nerves. There's actually a what am I thinking of? There's people, or I've also heard tales of people that use certain sword fighting styles in feudal Japan. They use box breathing as a way to help improve their swordsmanship, while they're performing, or in some cases fighting.
So you said something earlier about medication. Before, when we first became friends, I wasn't on medication, and I was pretty bad at the beginning. I had just gotten onto medication. I was getting to know my body. And I was snapping at everybody. I was doing things like throwing biscuits at people or kicking vinegar into people's eyes.
Oh, I wonder who that could have been.
I remember getting on the medication, and medication isn't for everybody, so we're not sitting here with big banners going, ooh, medication, so please don't think like that. But I know with me, I take a thing called risperidone, and I take Prozocin, I take a trazodone to sleep, I take I take duloxetine. I take numerous meds, but those meds keep me level-headed enough to be able to think, because I know without my meds, I seem to revert back to my anger ways, and I seem to snap more quickly, especially the risperidone. And so I've noticed that. But so that's definitely help. And for anybody out there that is from our generation, I would leave the message that because there was a stigma when we were coming up in the military that getting help was...
It was for the weak.
It was for the weak. And I would say that we're past that at this point. We're actually not getting help is for the weak. I think we're past not getting help. I think you're risking losing everything in life by not getting help. You're risking your lives, which is another reason why I want to do this podcast. Talking about the 22 soldiers that we lose a day. Hence the name 22. I've lost so many friends overseas. This shirt is dedicated to the 22 we lose every day. It says remember and honor. If it wasn't important, we wouldn't talk about it all the time. And so I don't know what else to say other than go get the help. Go get the help. Call somebody. Talk to somebody. Hell, I'll leave my email in the freaking comments. Please leave an email out in the comments.
I will.
And leave my Gmail out in the comments. And if somebody wants to talk or they need help, email me. Email me and we'll talk. And if you're just having a bad day, I'll email you back, pen pal. And guess what? It ain't that serious. Nothing has been so bad in life that we can't work through it. I promise.
I actually have a story about that. I almost joined the 22 a couple years ago. I had just started a new job, and the stress of it was getting me. My mother had just recently disowned me. I had 3 debt collectors. They're all pounding on my door. My car was having issues, just like all sorts of problems that at first I was just saddlebagging and just having it hang at the side. It was starting to come out, and just absolutely wreaking havoc on my mental health, to the point of where after work one day I'll never forget it, December 19th 2022, I sat in that parking lot, or in my car after work, and I was contemplating killing myself. I was done with the stress. I was done with the PTSD and the anxiety and the depression and my back issues. I was tired of having to advocate for peace in my family all the time when no one was there for me. All sorts of this stuff, I was just done with it, and I wanted to end it permanently. And I had a plan and everything, but then I just stopped and thought rationally for a moment. I was like, what am I doing? I need help. This is too much. I can't do this. And so I thought I'd give it one last try, or try and get myself out of my hole. And I called the veteran crisis line, and the lady there, she is a very sweet lady. I can't remember her name, but she was very sweet. She walked me through it, and we talked for probably about an hour or so, and then after which she gave me she gave me information on the VA clinic in Terre Haute, and I got better from there. Like literally the next day, I was talking to a social worker. He helped me work through my problems. He even offered to give me some debt relief agencies that would help me get through my issues. Suicide's a permanent issue for something that can be solved without it. Don't do it, please. It's not worth it. Even though it feels like that there's no one there for you, to advocate for you, to love you, to respect you, there always will be. Like that one customer that you helped, or that you think probably forgot about you, or that one family member that's always thinking about you every single day, like your mom or your dad or your brother, sister, cousin. There's a lot of people that are thinking about you. You just don't realize it. If you're in that hole, do the right thing. Get help. It's not worth it. I'll even leave my email down below if you guys are okay with it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I'll leave my email down below if you want to hit me up and you want to talk about anything, honestly. Even if you need help with your problems, I'll do everything I can to make sure that you're taken care of. I'll talk with you, pen pal, whatever.
So, the biggest thing for us is that to bring down this 22. I think all of us have been through that. To be honest with you, I've been through the 22. I thought I was going to be one too. When I was going through my hardest times. And mine was in service. I was a great soldier. But I saw what I was doing to my family, how I was tearing my family apart by what I was doing, by my actions. And it was eating me up alive. And I didn't want to be this angry, always yelling, always destroying my family type person, and I didn't know how to change. And so I got angry at myself, and I almost took my life one day. Very, very close. And it took my family, a reminder from my wife, who I've now been married to for 19 years, reminders from friends, that, like he was saying, it's a permanent fix for a temporary problem. And it's just not worth it. Just not worth it. And we're going to be here. We're going to leave our emails down below, and please communicate with us, and we'll walk you through it. We'll send you some help. We'll send you some links. And if you need anything from us, we're here. So, Jordan, let's talk about you and your service and what. So we used to do the same job in the military, and the hardships of that job would make it where our stress level was extreme. We always felt like politics was forefront in our minds. And how did we make it through to where we weren't just numbers ourselves? Do you remember what we used to do, what these soldiers can do nowadays, to where they're not just victims of the 22?
I may need a reiteration of that question.
So
sorry.
We had the same job in the military,
right?
But the biggest thing is we were soldiers, and what are some of the things that the current active soldiers or the retired soldiers could do to make sure that they aren't falling into the trap of killing themselves?
Basically. I got you. So one thing that I do fondly, I pick up hobbies. Hobbies are literally like the best thing for your mental health, and it doesn't need to be something that takes up a lot of your money, or time. Well, time hopefully, because you're gonna need time in order to do your hobby right. I said that wrong. That's gonna edit it out right.
Hobbies.
Okay. So, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I play video games with my fiance. I try to reach out to her, and I try and reach out to new people and learn, in these groups of hobbies that I'm part of, and I build this support system, not for myself, not just for myself, but for others as well. So that way, in the event that something does go wrong with my mental health, or in this case, with their mental health, they'll be able to, we'll be able to lean on each other and help each other out through the words that only our hobbies can speak of.
Yeah. I know something that I've kind of sucked at in the last few years that I gotta be better at is staying more in contact with my friends. I know that I have a real bad tendency to get so busy in my life that I lose contact with my friends, and I'll be like, Oh, they're still my best friend. I know they're still my best friend. That's still my best friend. And these guys are going, I haven't talked to this dude for like 8 months. I'm like, they're still my best friend. They're still my best friend. They're still my best friend. It's just who they are. They're still my best friend. And I'll be like knowing nothing that's going on in their lives. But that's just the way I've always been, is because I'm all about loyalty. But stay in contact with your friends, which I'm going to become better with. So stay in contact with your friends. Build that support system. And make sure that you have somebody in your side that you can talk to. You have somebody that you go get a coffee with.
Yeah.
You have somebody that you play Dungeons and Dragons with. You have somebody that is your work buddy. You have somebody that you can come home and call your love, that you or your significant other. You make sure you got that person that you can just call on a Friday night and be like, look, I'm having a bad night. Freaking, this is what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm having a flash of the war or whatever it is, and they're going to talk you off the ledge. Make sure that you got those people, and you're going to be the strongest person that there is if you build that circle. So, Jordan, I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, but it's been good. I love the fact that you've come from Illinois to see my daughter graduate. I love the fact that we've got to spend some time together. I love the fact that you've been on the show. And I want to do more shows like this. And if you appreciated it too, everybody give Jordan a round of applause. And I hope that we see more of them. And if you liked what you saw today, give a ring and a post and a subscribe. And let's get more of this going on. And next week, we're going to be speaking about... we're going to be going over something new that is near and dear to my heart. And it's a surprise. And I want to add some humor to what we've been getting into. Not so serious. And we're going to have some fun with it next week. So, but I hope that everybody has a great week. And if you need anything, hit me up in the links, hit me up in the emails, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching. God bless. Stay safe. Have a great day.